Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek-A-Day. This weekend I had the chance to read the new Star Trek Strange New Worlds novel Toward the Night by James Swallow. Since it is very, very new, I'll give a little bit of a spoiler-free review, just my thoughts after reading it this weekend, and see if maybe it's something you would be interested in. If you like Strange New Worlds in general, I think this is one you should check out. It's not quite as good as the last book that came out, Asylum, but it is still a fun, very Star Trek feeling adventure with our crew of the Enterprise skirting the edge of the Klingon border, investigating some subspace echoes and a planet near a very unpredictable flaring star, which leads to some discoveries of a civilization that used to exist on that planet, as well as a almost 100-year-old mystery involving a missing Starfleet vessel and some time travel elements thrown in there. Overall, it all works pretty well, as of course, we're near the Klingon border. There's going to be some tension and something involving the Klingons, which ends up playing very well. So overall, a pretty solid story. It just wasn't anything that was very spectacular and stand out. This isn't one of the greatest Star Trek books ever, but it is honestly a very solid, very Star Trek feeling adventure that doesn't have any truly great flaws either. It's still just a pretty good book. A couple things that stand out as the biggest positives from this. One, it really feels like the voices of the characters feel very true to the characters, the general tone and the structure and flow of the storytelling. It feels very much like an episode of Strange New Worlds, very specifically to that show. So if you really like Strange New Worlds, this is definitely one you're going to enjoy because it really gets that right, gets the cadence of the different characters and speech patterns down. Everything just, it feels very much Strange New Worlds. And the biggest thing for me is how this book finally gives some character to Erica Ortegas. In the show, I've been disappointed in the development for her character specifically. It feels like she is always to the wayside and is not as to the forefront as a lot of the other main cast, and it's really just that I fly the ship. That's about the depth of her character that we get so far in the show as of the time of recording this before the start of season 3. Just in season 1 and 2, she is a character who I feel really has not been given the time to really explore her character as much as Pike or Una or Spock, obviously, and then even Uhura's been given a lot more time to explore her character. And of course, La'an, so it really feels like she is very background, and here they finally give a closer look into her character, building up aspects of her past that become a little more integral to the plot line of the story, and just develop a little bit more of a background, a little more time with this character. So that was definitely a nice surprise, one of the stronger points of the book, because even though she's not one of my favorite characters in the bunch, I'm very glad to finally see that character get a little bit of life, breathe into a member of the crew who just hasn't had the time to shine, it feels like. So overall, a pretty decent book, definitely one to check out in particular if you are a big fan of Strange New Worlds. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this book. And we have another Strange New Worlds coming soon. I think it was just delayed. It was originally slated for July or August, and I think now it's like September or October. So we'll see when that one comes out. But exciting to have another one on the horizon. We'll see which shows up first, that or Season 3.